You need to relax, my friend. You've just got too many distractions going on, and if you put those aside for a little moment, things will have a chance to just fall into place. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, how useful was that for you right now? And again, on a scale from 1 to 10, how true did that feel for you right now? My name is Tim, I'm .Connector 17, and now let's delve a little bit further into that topic of useful and true. Derek Sivers actually has written a book about it, and it is called Useful, Not True. The book is actually about finding new perspectives and choosing a perspective that is useful for you, even though it is not necessarily true. It is a very good companion to another book he wrote, which is called How to Live. And How to Live is playing around with perspectives, but this Useful Not True is about finding new perspectives and then choosing one. You might want to read this first and then How to Live second. First thing I noticed is almost nothing people say is true. And talking about things we say, our thoughts aren't really true either. Our perspectives aren't true either. Cultural meanings aren't true either. Even science isn't true. So there's quite a bit that's not true in our lives. But what is actually true then? Derek points out that true in that sense means absolutely, necessarily, objectively true. There is no other way to see it. Any human being, any machine has a look and agrees. Then useful is anything that helps you do what you need to do, be who you want to be, or simply feel at peace. We human beings have a few tendencies. One of them is jumping to conclusions in the first place, and also to perceive our perspective as very true, perceiving it as the only one. It doesn't mean that we're wrong, but it's just not the only answer. That's the thing about perspectives. And yes, you are doing it too, I'm doing it too, and everyone you know is doing it too, because it's part of the human condition to adopt a perspective, and then it is very hard for others to convince us otherwise. How to act useful? Let's take it the other way around. Normally, we have a belief and then we do something, and then we find out, oh, that might not have been the smartest thing to do. So Derek is proposing to do it the other way around. You have to think first, what is the action that I need right now? And then backtrace it. What belief will ultimately lead to that action? That's a big change in perspective, so not necessarily true, but maybe you find that useful. Now, if you take action, you might find that it is not really working that well, and maybe the same thing goes wrong every time. For example, bowling. If you bowl and the ball constantly falls on the right side, what are you going to do after a while? You adjust, aim a little bit further to the left. You counterbalance. And that is another big idea, that you adjust what isn't working. You can do that with bowling balls, but you can also do that with your own beliefs. If, for example, you are late very often, maybe your time planning, time management isn't the best, so you can just counterbalance by assuming the double amount of time for the preparations before you leave the house. Again, that belief that you need twice the time isn't true, but that will lead to the action of you being there. You want that. What if someone told you that there's a diamond in the trash? You would certainly start digging, wouldn't you? You would dig and dig until you find it. And that bit is important, this until you find it. Because if nobody told you that there's a diamond in the trash, you might not touch the trash at all, or if they take out something there, you would say after a short while, I can't be bothered looking any further. But if you know something is there, you start digging deeper. And again, you can do the same thing with your beliefs. If you are convinced, or if somebody tells you that there is a solution to your problem, you would start digging, or you would dig deeper until you find that solution. And finally, there are the big questions in life. And there's no shortage of them. They're very easy to find, or I've come across some of them. If you haven't asked any AI, give me a list of 20 big questions, you're going to have it. So it's not very difficult to gather those questions, but you have to really answer them. And your third answer counts. Because the first answer is usually stereotype. The second answer is a little bit better thought out, but it's the third answer that is the kind of no taboo answer, that is the real one. For example, who comes to mind when you hear the word successful? Your first answer might be something like Richard Branson, Michelle Obama, Michael Jordan. So that's typical stereotype. Then your second answer, if you give it a little bit more thought, then maybe my mom was successful. Because she raised, I don't know, X amount of kids, certainly one, and that is a big task that takes 20 years. And then it's not even completed. But the kids have turned out right. Let's say you have siblings, maybe they are okay. Maybe your mom has been very successful in raising human beings. Then third answer might be that you say, my first answer was somebody else has achieved my goals. The second answer was somebody has achieved their own goals. But honestly, how can we tell who's successful without knowing the goals or the objectives of the person? So the third answer is we need to know the objectives first, and then we can say who has achieved their own objectives. That is the third answer counts principle, and if you apply that to the really big questions and also no taboos, maybe you're part of the problem. If you're ready to face that, then you have a very good chance of inspiring yourself. Yeah, so the book in one line is really adopt what is useful, not true, for good decision making. Your perspective doesn't mean that you're wrong, it's just not the only answer. There are other ways to see it. And that this is important, that you're open to seeing other ways. A fact is something very close. What is true is closed, no discussion needed. Perspectives are just different. If you haven't noticed by now, I really love this book. I had tons of fun reading it. It is very short, by the way, so you can read it in an hour and a half. If you take more time, I think you're going to find that a good idea. It is very content-rich, one idea per page, one big idea per page, and usually it is accompanied with a story. So that is how dense this book actually is. It goes very well with How to Live, and the difference, to point that out or to make that a little clearer, it goes very well with the book How to Live, also by Derek Sivers. And How to Live is like kind of, suppose you have 20 canvas and you're asking 20 different people to beautify that canvas. Then you're gonna receive 20 completely different canvases afterwards. One of the canvas could be like a perspective. You have this perspective today, you have another perspective tomorrow. And How to Live is, okay, you can follow this way, follow this perspective for a while, and then you change to another one. Maybe you take a break. At some point in life, it's approaches to life over there. And Useful Not True is about finding new perspectives. That is how the two really work together very well. Yeah, you might find the book also overwhelming if you read it, because every sentence has a lot of meaning and requires, basically, if you follow the advice, an identity change. So it's very tempting to read it just as entertainment, to not answer the big questions. Well, it's up to you. If you want to see it as entertainment, I'm pretty sure you're gonna feel entertained reading it. If you're ready to dig a little bit deeper, to really answer the questions, you might see yourself go, oh, wow, from time to time. And you might even feel a longing to change. You feel you're ready and eager and motivated for an identity change. And that's pretty much what I think you can get out of this book. Thank you very much for watching. That concludes it for today. See you very soon in another video. Have a great day and take care. Bye-bye.